Welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking about how I host my hide and seek games on Sarlona. And so this video is going to be for people who might want to host their own hide and seek events. And so I'm going to be showing you some of the things that I do to stay hidden from players. There are some little tricks that you can do because you're going to find that people are going to want to follow you, and there are tricks that they can do to find your location. So one of the things that you need to be aware of if you're going to do this is that people are going to try to join your LFM. So I have an LFM up that says, I'm hosting these games, and realize that in the LFM people can see where you are. If you hover over it, you can see it says, my location is the marketplace. So you want to be very careful, like you don't want to go into a building that is going to say, he's going to tell people your location. And they can also look you up on the Who list, and it'll say your location there. See, it says everybody's location here. So, for example, you wouldn't want to go into like the Leaky Dinghy or the Lobster because people could just look you up on the Who list and they could see right away that you're in the Lobster. But there are other buildings like Dagleward's Apothecary, for example, or the Ball and Chain in the harbor that you can jump into, and it just says that you're in the harbor. So you do need to be aware of that. Another thing is that if people see you, let's say you host one game, and then, as you're being found, maybe a bunch of people were there, or the person that even found you, if they select you, then they can sort of track you in that, if they have you selected, like right now I'm going to select this guy here. See how he shows up in the little window? So if he walks away, he'll disappear once he gets too far. But if I'm out here looking for him, if he pops up in that window, if I still have him selected, I'll know that I'm near him. So the way that you avoid that is by zoning. So you jump into a building or teleport, for example. Teleport is a great way to lose people. Unfortunately, there's only one place to teleport to in the harbor. So sometimes people will sit there and scout out, knowing that you teleport around. They're going to sit there and watch and wait for you to teleport to that place in the harbor and then follow you from there. So here's another little trick I like to do. I like to run in through the Lord's March Plaza and enter the harbor through this side entrance down here. And not a lot of people will, I like to look around too because there could be somebody waiting for me to come out of that door. Seeing that I was in Lord's March Plaza. So I'm just going to run over here. I'm going to jump down in the water. It doesn't look like anybody is following me. So we're gonna make this our first hiding spot for the video. Oh, is that person following me? That's hard to say. That's okay. Today is the last day It's early for me. It's the last day of the holiday games. For us, I've been doing games of hide and seek and trivia in the harbor every day from Christmas Eve through New Year's. And I've saved some of the best prizes for today. So I like to give clues, like based on what I can see, they can determine my location. And my first two clues are always whether or not I can see the lighthouse and the Leaky Dinghy. And the reason why that is because it helps people right away to sort of section off parts of the harbor. If they know I'm somewhere where I can't see the lighthouse, that's going to eliminate a lot of possibilities. They probably know I'm not out, hanging around in the water somewhere. So first clue, I can see the lighthouse. See, there it is right there. I'm kind of far from it, but I can see it. And my second clue is going to be, I cannot see the Leaky Dinghy. It's a lot easier for me to just arrow up instead of typing that all again. Those are perennial clues. I always use those. People, I've been doing games of hide and seek for years on Sarlona, and it's just I find it to be lots of fun. And over the years, people have come to know that I host these games, and so a lot of people have contributed. It's been really amazing. In fact, this year with the holiday games, I have received more donations from more people than ever before. Like, there are certain people on Sarlona, like Fire Goddess and Oprecious, that have been donating for a while, and they really donate some great stuff. This year, not only did they contribute, but a whole bunch of people contributed to it, so it's been really, really awesome. It's a big help. I mean, I'm hosting these every day from New Year's Eve, or excuse me, from Christmas Eve to New Year's Day. So I've given out like 500 prizes between the games prizes and the freebies. At the end of the, at the end of the games, I always give out a bunch of freebies. Sometimes the people that contribute like epic normal stuff or just sort of, lesser desirable stuff, I sort of set those aside for the freebies at the end, and that way people who didn't win can get something. All right, so third clue. What's going to be the third clue? I can see several bridges. Let's just say I can see a bridge. We don't want to give it away. But here you can see there's a bridge back there. Here's a bridge here. There's a bridge there. And there's a bridge there. And the other clues that I'll give here is like I can see mist. Where's she at? Well, I'd have to move a little bit. The mist is right there. I'm next to a gate. Oh, somebody found me. Unsinful found me. Winner. Oops, I linked the wrong item. You always want to make sure to tell people where you were to, because people are going to ask, so you might as well just get in the habit of that. Waiting in the water. Under the bridge to the market. Okay, so what do I do from here? Because right now, people know my location. You can see several people came by here. So right now, people could be targeting me to do that little trick that I talked about. And so, one of the things that you can do, you can teleport, like I said, but then it becomes really obvious. People just see that you teleport, they know exactly where you... Well, not necessarily, but one of the things that I like to do is just sort of run people in the wrong direction here. Like, people that were watching me, they think that I'm going over here, right? And so I like to go into the leaky dinghy. Now these people that play my games are going to know my little tricks. I like to go in the leaky dinghy, and that way some people will follow me here. They think, oh, he's hiding in the dinghy, or they'll see on the LFM panel, like, see it says I'm in the leaky dinghy. So this is what I was talking about. You don't want to hide in a building that's going to give away your location. Okay? So then sometimes I'll even wait back here for a few minutes just to just to watch people come in after me, and sometimes as soon as people come in, I'll teleport right away. But this won't be my hiding spot. This is just sort of a place for me to sit for a minute and, let people be confused. And all those people that are trying to track me, just sort of let them calm down a bit. So from here, I can teleport to a variety of locations. One of the things that I like to do is teleport just, right to the harbor, like I said, but people will perch. So I'm going to do that right now because there's something else you can do from there, which is very simple and is a great way to lose people. Okay, so I like to tell this is the place you teleport to in the harbor, right? But sometimes, like, I'll see people on these rooftops, like, looking down here right at me, waiting for me to teleport here. Okay. So I don't see anybody here, but one of the things I like to do if I do is just jump right into the inspired quarter, and then go right around the corner into the teleporter and go to the marketplace, the south place of the marketplace, and that puts me right by the gate to the harbor. So now with just a couple quick teleports, I'm now at a completely different place in the harbor. That person doesn't look like they're looking for me, but I saw somebody up there who might have been. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teleport back to the harbor in this other location that I just came from. And I'm going to hide right over here in the bushes. Bushes are a great place to hide, and when you're in fire elemental form as a druid, it's really hard to see you. But they can see your floating name though, you know, and so I'm in a level 200 guild, so that name really sticks out. Alright, so this is gonna be my hiding place for game 3. I guess this is game 4. What's the prize gonna be? How about Elite Shadow Sight? Okay, can I see the lighthouse from here? Nope. So that's the first clue. Now, what you don't want to, you know, if you're gonna host a hide and seek, don't be a douchebag and like find places where you're hiding like inside of things, like inside of a cliff or something like that, where you literally can't be seen and nobody would know you're there. I mean, you want to be found. Also, I would highly recommend that you don't hide in places that are going to require like a really high jump spell to get to, unless you just, you know, unless you don't want any newbies to find you. But I always try to get into places that, you know, even if it's on a rooftop, you know, like there are some rooftop areas that, you know, you can get to without a good jump skill. And doesn't look like I can see the leaky dinghy from here either, so I'm going to put I cannot see the leaky dinghy for my second clue. So there's the Founder's Fountain, and one of the things I like to do is say that like I can see falling water, or I can see 2 tridents sticking up towards the sky. A lot of people play for fun, which is really cool. So apparently Parliament is just playing to find me. So you know, some people want the prizes, some people just are looking for me just for the fun of it. This is a great community event. It's a lot of fun. People really enjoy it, and I have a lot of fun hosting them. I do big events, you know, between Christmas and New Year's. I do a big event on Easter, a big Halloween event, and then I just sort of randomly do events sporadically whenever I feel like it, usually on weekends. One of the really great things that you can do, but unfortunately, you know, server population isn't what it used to be, but you know, if it happens to be busy, and once in a while it can still happen on holidays, and you get multiple instances, that's the best when it comes to trying to lose people, because what you can do is you can just switch your instance here, you know, and I'll always make sure that my hiding places end up being in, you know, like the instance 1, and I'll let them know that. But as I'm trying to hide, I'll switch around, you know, and I'll go walk to a gate and then switch instances, or walk up to a quest and switch instances, and it makes it look like I entered the quest. And I've had people send me tells, like angry tells, like, I saw you go into a quest. That's not fair. I can't follow you there, you know. And I'm like, well, I will agree that you saw me approach a quest and disappear, but I am not in a quest. But you know, it's not usually the case that there are multiple instances anymore. I don't know if this person is looking for me. Sometimes it's hard to click on you. One of the things that I like to do is make it part of the rules that it's the winner is the person that opens the trade window with me first. And so this gets the host out of a bind, because that way, first of all, it separates people that are playing from people who are playing to win, from people who are just playing to find you just for fun. It also importantly breaks ties, because you know, it could be the case that somebody actually stepped up to you a couple seconds before the other, but you know, the person that approached you second got the trade window open. If you make that's the rule, you know, that has worked really well for me. I've been doing it that way for, you know, for a long time. Okay, so Dark Sniper was looking for me. I'm not giving as many clues as I normally do, because I'm distracted by trying to do the video. Sitting in the bushes near the Founder's Fountain. Smiley face. Okay. And then from here we can just run into the Inspired Quarter, and then maybe we'll get an angry tell. being like, you said it was going to be in the harbor, and I just saw you go to the inspired quarter. I'm just trying to lose you. Right around the corner. Let's do the marketplace again, except this time let's go back through the Lord's March Plaza. You don't want to hang out in Lord's March too long because it's going to say Lord's March here. So if people are watching that, some people are going to have a panel open watching your location there, or watching you on the Who list. It says I'm in Lord's March. So if somebody's watching that, they're going to know right away that I'm probably going to come out this entrance. So you got to be quick. A great thing about doing this as a druid is because the water elemental swims really fast through water. Give yourself merfolks too. And then the winter wolf can do the snow slide. You can get away from people really fast. And even if people see you go in the water, you can go in one direction and then circle back around. Like a lot of times when I go into the water, I like to go out and circle around the lighthouse, and it will help to lose people. Especially like start going off in a different direction and then sort of double back and go around the lighthouse. There's a bird swimming underwater. That's brilliant. Oh, there's somebody. I used this spot yesterday, so I probably shouldn't use it, but that's alright. One of the cool things about this spot, though, is that you can actually sit, right? And when you sit, it says in public, like, you sit, so people can see that. So the people that are paying attention are going to think to themselves, okay, he's not in the water. Because you can't sit when you're out there, and, if you're underwater, you're wading in the water, right? So like I said, the ones that are paying attention, they think, oh, he's not in the water. But I sort of am in the water. Alright. Let's announce Game 5. What's going to be the prize? Let's do this Elite Morning Star. It's a pretty cool upper heroic throwing weapon. Okay, first clue, I can see the lighthouse. I can't see very much of it, but there it is. Sometimes, I've seen several times over the years people get bent about these first two clues. And, people will be like, you could see the lighthouse from everywhere. No, you actually can't. There's a lot of places in the harbor that you can't see the lighthouse, like my last hiding spot, for example. If you're in a building, like I said, you can go inside a Daggerward's apothecary, you can go into the ball and chain, the weapon and armor shop there by the bank. You can't go into the airship showroom though, because that'll show in the LFM panel that you're there. It won't say harbor. I kind of wanted to live stream this, but then people would be able to watch the live stream and see right where I'm at. Okay, can I see the leaky dinghy? No. Okay, what else? I could write, I can see a fisherman, I can see, a dock worker, I can see a raft, rope netting nearby, sitting on sand. I don't like to give away clues like I'm under a deck, because I feel like that's a little bit too much of a giveaway. I want people to use the clues to figure out where I'm at. But once I start getting into, if I start getting close to like the 10th clue, then I start giving more obvious clues. But usually I don't get that high. Okay, third clue. I can see a fisherman. And there he One of the clues that I like to give too is like, I'll say I can see a cage. Okay, and usually when people see that, they think the owlbear cage. And sometimes that's the case, but sometimes I'll capitalize it. And there's the captain cage over there. You know, when you talk to go to Irestone Inlet, his last name is Cage. So if I'm using that as my clue, I can see a cage, I will capitalize it, and the people that are paying attention will know that I mean that captain, or will wonder why is he capitalizing it, and they might figure it out. You can also say, other sort of ambiguous clues would be like, I can see trainers, I can see a mailbox, because there are two sets of trainers and there are two sets of mailbox. There's two mailboxes in the harbor, and obviously you can host these anywhere you want. But I like to do it in the harbor because, this is probably going to have potentially the most newbies. I mean, maybe Korthos would have more, but Korthos isn't a very big place to hide. And there are lots and lots of great hiding places in the harbor, and you don't have to pick places that are really hard to reach. Like I said, you want to pick places that, are going to be relatively easy to reach, and, you shouldn't have to need a really high jump or something like that. Well, you can't see them here, but along the cliffs here to the side of me, you can get way up on the cliffs, and you can get in some spots that are really, really hard to reach. So those are really hard to get up there without anybody seeing you, but nonetheless, that's not a really newbie-friendly place to hide. And you could find yourself up there given 50 clues before somebody actually finds you or is able to get up there. People, if they see you in places, like sometimes people will see you, up on a rooftop or something, they think, I can't get to you, and then they give up. If they say that in the chat, if they say that in chat, I'll say, you don't need a high jump to get up here. There's a way, and I'm going to show you one of the spots that I'm talking about after this. I'll try to get up there. Let's give another clue. I can see a raft. And there's a raft right out there. Ah, here's Unsinful again. He's good at this. Or she. What was this, game 5? Yep. Sitting under a dock near Boundary. So, you can actually get up on these cliffs. You can go up the stairs up here, and you can get up over there. Somebody's looking up there now. It's really hard for newbies to get up there, though. One of the things that it's great if you have your Fjarland's Pennant of Time, because that makes you walk really fast in public zones. You want to make sure that you don't zone into an instance, like a dungeon instance, like the Cerulean Hills or some quest, to try to lose people. Because if you do that, you lose your Pennant of Time. That buff would go off, and then you might not have it back. You might have to go back into a tavern or something to get it back. So don't jump into quests to lose people. There are plenty of other places to zone. Why can't I? There we go. One of the things that can be nice to do too is even though a jump spell or a high jump skill isn't necessary, if you run it that way, it can be nice to just sort of announce, like, anybody that would like a jump spell cast on them, meet me at the mailbox for the next 2 minutes. Sometimes I do that. Okay, I was going to show a spot that I like to use, or actually that gets me to a variety of locations, and it's the rooftops over here. But you don't need a high jump skill to get up there, because look at this. Just even a modest jump skill would be able to let you get up on this ledge, and then up here, and then up here. As opposed to, there are other ways to get up on these roofs where you would need a high jump, but that ledge right there is a very easy way to get up on these roofs. And so there's all kinds of spots all along here, on that side, back in that alley. We're just sitting anywhere along here. Sometimes I just like to sit at the end of the wall. Down here on these rocks is a great spot. Under stairs, spots like this are great. In bushes, like under decks. Sometimes even being really out in the open, you can just sit in a corner like this. In fact, the best spot that I've used today so far was totally out in the open. It took people a long time to find me, but people were running right by me. They don't think you're going to be right out in the open, and where I was just right up here in this courtyard, and I was just sitting here on these boxes, and I was watching people run by me, and they were running up there and looking all around, but they weren't looking in, the obvious place. And you don't always have to be, like that. It's not really well hidden. You can even just be like back around here. Sometimes I like to use this spot and just sit here. Sometimes I like to, go on the other side of the wall and just sit right here. It's all kinds of spots. You can get a little more tricky, and you can like go on the cliffs and sit right here, and people will find you. Don't be a douchebag though, and then jump out here with your wings and then sit on top of this pillar, and then I mean, people could feather fall you to you here, but this is a tough one for newbies to find you. You can also feather fall off the back of the leaky dinghy and get over to this ship here, which can be fun. They can't. They'll see you and they'll try to jump up here, and they can't jump up from the water, but they can feather fall down from the leaky dinghy and get here. This is a fun spot to just sit here. Okay, let's do one. Let's try to do at least one more for the video. Can't use teleport scrolls in wolf form. So I'm teleporting so that I lose anybody who's trying to track me by targeting me. Yeah, so there's Fratane, who looks like they were perched right there waiting for me to come out of that gate. So that's exactly what I was talking about. So what are we going to do? We're going to run over here, and Fratane's going to think, I got him. I'm going to follow him. But then I'm going to just zone right here into the lobster, and I'm going to teleport right away. And even if Fratane was watching the who list, oh crap, I got an oops. Now it's going to show that I went to the harbor and they'll know I teleported. But in any event, ideally if I didn't get an oops, what's going on? Then I just teleport right to the harbor, and it wouldn't have showed any difference in the who list. Okay, so let's go over here. Now let's go over here. I used this one a few days ago, but I'm going to use it again. I'm just going to sleep behind this little ship. Hopefully none of those people were watching me. So this is a really easy one for people to just run by, So if they're not over here, then they might not see me. Let's do one more game for the video. Oops. Stood up. I usually like to do about 8 or 9 games of hide and seek, and by that time you get so many people swarming you that it's really hard to hide. So then I'll switch to trivia. Okay, can I see the lighthouse from here? Yeah, I can. There it is. I don't know if it. So this is the tricky thing. Like, I have to like. Uh-oh, somebody's finding me right away. That person did see me when I hid. So so I should have been more careful. That person was hanging out right here when I was over here, and I thought maybe they didn't see me, but I think they probably did. Got to be more careful. It's a good example. You gotta be more careful. People watching you. do one more game. Let's get the hell out of here, though. Got a zone. And I'm going to go back through the Lord's March Plaza. I wish there were multiple instances in the harbor, because... But like I said, you can just walk up to a door and then switch your instance. And just make sure you switch back to the, whatever instance that you want people to search for you in. Otherwise, if people are looking in multiple instances, that's going to be really, really tough. Oh, let's go ahead and go into water elemental form. Do some merfolks. There could have been people that see me, It's really, really hard, especially once you've done several games, and a lot of people know that you're doing this. There's people all over the harbor, and everybody's looking for you, even when there's not a game announced. They're looking for you to hide, and so that's part of the fun for me, is trying to hide from people, trying to, be more clever than they are. Okay, I haven't used this spot in a few days. Oh, what's over here? But this is a spot that I like to use once in a while. And I like to get out here a little bit, just so that I can say, I can see the leaky dinghy. There it is right there. And there's the lighthouse. Oh, let's give away some gems of the ocean wind. And my first clue is I can see the lighthouse. Oh, Jesus! I'm a terrible hider. Where in the hell was Peregrine? What in the hell? That, I don't know if he was just waiting there for me, knowing that I hide there occasionally, but yeah, he totally got me. That's terrible for the video. Okay, now I gotta do one more. Yeah, I totally didn't see him if he was there. Maybe he was like hiding up here or something. I'll have to watch the video. See if I can see him in the video. Ah, there's Nervgen. He plays these games all the time, so I know he's looking for me. Back in this alley is a great place to hide. Like sleeping behind here. One of the great places that I love is right here. It's just sitting right here, and people just run right by you. This is one of my best spots, is right there behind Felicity. And then another good spot is right up here. Just sitting or sleeping on this little ledge, people just run right by you. And there are lots of spots. I'll just show a few more on video. I don't mind showing some of my spots because I probably have, 60, 70, 80 spots that I like to hide in. Sometimes I'll just sit up here on the archway. Up on the roofs is great. Another really nice spot is, when you're going on the roof, just like go right on the edge so that if people are looking for you on the rooftop, they go right over you. So just like sleep right here in the corner there, or right here, for example, or here. They're gonna run right by you. This is a really, really good one. It's just sometimes it's hard to get to hide on the rooftops because people can see you from really far away. So here's somebody looking for me right now on the rooftops. Let's see if I can mention a couple other nice hiding places. This one over here is pretty good. Well, you can go under the deck here. I like this one back here. I don't use it very often though, because it's hard to get there without people seeing you. But if you can, this is a really nice spot. And you can, you can do underwater. You can do, like, under decks is a great place to hide. I like to go under the deck in front of waterworks. I like to go in the wake over here of the little waterfall. This is a good spot, just right here. And these are all spots that, people can easily get to, but you're pretty well hidden. Sometimes I like to go out on the island where the lighthouse is, and there's some bushes back there that you can sit in. That's hard to see. You can go like, back under here is a good spot, and then under this building too is a pretty good spot. And it seems like you're out in the open, but a lot of that shrubbery and stuff and the banners and things are obscuring you. You can go hide under the docks here, just waiting in the water. But I like to just sit in the bushes right here. It's pretty hard to see. Or sometimes I like to just run out here and get like Peregrine here to follow me, which he's doing, and then before he can get to me, just teleport away. I'm gonna give him a skull head. Ah, he teleported away. Now the people looking for me are teleporting away from me. That's great. Okay, let's do marketplace. And one more place that you can come out of is your guild ship. So ways that you can go into the harbor are through the Inspired Quarter, through guild ship, through the market gate, through the Lord Orange Plaza gate. The problem with this one is that there's so many people. That's a really, really high traffic area. You see there's people right here. I have no idea if these people are playing or not, but if you can manage it, I mean, this is a neat hiding spot back here, but it's such a high traffic area that it is very difficult to get back here without being seen. But you can just like sit up here. I like to sit along the wall up here too sometimes, like right up here or even down here. This little cubby's pretty nice right here. And then there are all sorts of spots like on the cliffs and stuff that you can do if you want to get really tricky. The cliffs are a great place to hide. Well, I guess that's all I need to show on video. I just wanted to give you some tips. If you want to host your own hide and seek game, there are some things to watch out for because people can get pretty clever. And just, if you're not zoning and, you're not being careful about obscuring your location in the who list, people can find you pretty easily. So you want to make sure to watch out for those simple pitfalls. And hopefully I give you some other little tips to hide yourself well and some good hiding spots to hide in. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about any of my videos, you can respond on YouTube. And if you're on Sarlona, you're welcome to send me a tell.